rappers do this all the time. There's nothing wrong.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, Proud to the East himself, king of Southwood Street, who else? The only boy who drinks his Fanta just like James Bond. Shaken, not stirred. And welcome to the number one podcast in Eastern
Let's go,
Cape.
champ. Let's go.
Yeah.
And now you guys might be wondering what is going on. We're with an unfamiliar face. The person from behind. You know, the person who makes the running, well-oiled machine that is called
The pot's to be
Goliath
done.
brothers. Yes, sir.
Pot's to be
That's the
done.
line.
So today we're sitting here with Kate. Obviously, Kate, how do you feel? You know, knowing that you are the person behind everything.
How do I feel?
Yeah.
Well, I might be the person behind everything, but I think, with all of us, there's, we all just, I don't know how, I'm trying to think of the word to use. I feel blessed, but I'm also know that I work really hard to be, so I'm very grateful for my position, but I'm also very cognizant of what
Big
it's
words.
taken,
Yeah.
of what that's why of what it's taken to get to where we are and from where we come from as well. So I'm proud of myself as well, but I'm also proud of us as a team because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, and I think vice versa. So I think we all very aware of that.
So would you say being behind the scenes is something that you've always wanted?
Yes, I've always been a behind the scenes person. My mother was a behind the scenes person, and she worked in PR for Mnet back in the day, like when things were really cool, and there was just like The Simpsons, and like we were just bombarded with all these new age things. She worked in the media, so it was always very interesting for me. And don't put me in
So,
no.
a lot of people just got introduced to the Goliaths like 3 years back when things started to pick up and things are moving fast. Could you tell us about a time where, gigs weren't coming in every week? How was that like when you still had to like grind and push and brands weren't coming to you? You still had to go to the brands.
Look, we still grind and push every day, but
Yeah.
it is a lot easier now that, I don't need to prove the guys to anybody. So, the check is basically signed once you get the inquiry. But, I mean, we ran shows from our pockets. We used to go to the bank after shows if we didn't make enough at the door to pay comics from our own pockets. We printed out A4 pieces of paper with our logo on and stuck it up on walls to create this illusion of grandeur, to make brands think that, you guys are actually, you are a plus brand, already without even. So, with doing all of those things and just like really working hard and just, waiting for that moment, but also just continuing to enjoy what we were doing every single day. So it still feels very much the same for us.
Yeah, what was the moment you were like, okay, these guys is who I'm gonna put all my eggs in? All eggs in a basket. That, yeah. This is where my basket and eggs are.
It was actually my mother who created who kicked it off and pushed me into the direction. So I just had a baby and I was working a job that I really hated. And I was just really, Jason was just starting out and Nicholas, and they just met Donovan, and there was all this excitement, and I had a PR and marketing background. So my mother said to Jason, why don't you just get Kate to help you? Because he was doing his own bookings and invoices and all that sort of thing. And so then I started helping them from a dining room table because I still lived at home because I was a single mother. At that point, and here I am, like, well, I wasn't, it's a complicated story. That
And today we are at M Studios. M Studios, which is also partnered up with Old Mutual.
Yes.
Old Mutual is a money thing.
Yeah.
And we'd like to ask you how. A lot of people always assume that you're a celebrity, you got the blue check, you got the followers. Money is coming in fast every day. What does it take to keep up with that lifestyle as well?
Budgeting, planning ahead, definitely. I think, in the entertainment industry, you get paid in like a bulk amount for something. So it also gets, you'll then think, yo, I've got all this money and it's going to be so nice. And then you spend it all and then the phone doesn't ring. So it's also about making sure that you can cover yourself for at least 3 months. Without having to worry, without another job coming in, but knowing that you're secure with at least your baseline things, and then pushing for that, and then also just working to targets. I think it's easier. It sounds difficult when you say I need to reach this amount of money in a month or this amount of gigs, but when you do say it, something in your brain clicks and you sort of work towards that, whether you feel it or not. So I think, it's also just about your mindset and how you treat money. You've got to be, money will actually show you flames if you are, you will see bad things if you disrespect money.
Wow.
But it's also not the center of everything. Sorry, Mitchell.
Like,
But it isn't. But it is. I mean, we need it to survive. But it isn't. It isn't the be all and end all. And I think if you do that, respect it, but don't push it first, then I think you're good.
What's the importance of like a manager, and management, and having that person that's doing those things? Does everybody need a manager? And as well, do you only manage like the Goliaths, or are you open to managing other people as well?
I only manage the Goliaths. I've been open to managing others. When we started, we had a crew of almost like 10 people. But it wasn't that busy then, so it was fine, And I mean, everybody, it was more just putting the shows together, making sure they get on stage and that sort of thing. You need a manager and an agent at a certain point if you want to be a professional. It definitely puts you on another level and another scale when you have somebody phoning for you and saying, where do I send the invoice? What are the details? And it also makes your client feel a lot more comfortable and at ease that you've got a bit of direction. Because I know when I work directly sometimes with another comic, I get a bit nervous because I'm not sure if they are going to show up. Are they going to do what I expect them to do because our standards are so high? So it's that. It also creates a sense of responsibility for the artist more than just the client. And I think it also just in that, it makes it feel, because with artists, it sometimes can't feel like a career because it's just so nice and it's, everybody's so nice and it's all over the place. But when you have sort of a structure, then you know that you're working towards goals and you're checking things off, and it's actually building to something other than just being an artist and living in this flower world with everybody just singing and then you're hungry on the side. So but I will book other acts, but I won't manage anybody else.
Sometimes it doesn't go as planned, like in the entertainment industry, you know what I'm saying? And you plan certain things, but they don't go exactly what you planned. What was like the worst situation where maybe you guys planned something and it just didn't go planned at all?
I mean, there were a few instances. Can't like pinpoint to like a really I mean, there's been things that have really, when we had to make the decision to close our comedy club in Melrose, that was sort of things went wrong, but it actually didn't, because we're so much better off. And I think it's also when you're looking for what are the wrong things instead of looking for how can I improve these things that I have messed up on, then your attitude changes, and you have to fail in order to succeed. You have to fail in order to pick yourself up and move on. Definitely. So I'm a firm believer in failing and making mistakes, because that's the only way you're going to learn. And I think, that for us is, if we didn't have that, I think we would have had a lot more of those. So like nothing sticks out in my mind. There've been times where we've burnt our fingers. There've been times where I've double booked people and, I've made clients upset, or I've made Jason upset because he's booked something and I
gets the
double
most
booked
upset?
it, and Jason.
Okay.
But for different things.
Yeah.
None of them are divas at all. At
They
all.
don't look like divas.
But Jason is the most high maintenance. If I can say that, but he knows he's high maintenance as well. And he deserves to be high maintenance, because when the camera is on, he's
a
not.
star.
He
He's a
is.
star.
He is whatever you want him to be.
Let's go.
So I'm very confident in the fact that they can do what they want to do, and I fight for them every day for that.
Beautiful.
Because I believe in the product that I'm selling. Basically,
Like we see a lot of artists, mostly overseas, but sometimes here as well, where you see like, okay, this artist is getting paid millions and millions, but then chiki 5 years later, he's becoming a struggling artist again. So what do you do to make sure that you and your clients don't ever get to that point where, let's say, like you guys, okay, since Donovan is having a baby soon, and then he takes some time away from comedy and doing skits and doing. What do you guys do to make sure that, okay, we're gonna be set for this amount of time?
okay. We save as well, but we also, I think, recently and since, closing the clubs and COVID and all of that, we've been thinking, just investing in different things, starting new, smaller businesses that can keep us going, and just, like Donovan's skill set in terms of content creating has just exploded. So, there's different avenues that we can do, that we can use to just keep the momentum going, because it is, and we think about it all the time, that tomorrow your day can be over. In this industry, somebody else will come and be better than you, and everybody will like them more than you, and that's just something that you've got to deal with and understand and be ready for. So also, respect your target market, because those are the people that are going to be the ones that are going to stick with you and keep paying your bills. And so, feed them as much as you want to be fed. And also just, that you hustle where you need to. Fill up that bank account. It doesn't matter. Like my mother would always say, do anything legal for cash. Do
Legal.
whatever you can.
Legal, kids.
If you are hungry, nobody's gonna feed you. So so it's as much as we need to, and I think a lot of artists during this COVID period have also like really realized that you can't just be a one act man. You've got to do many things, and there are so many more things that you can do. There are comics that are selling chickens. They've got chicken farms. There's others that are making soap. So it's really, you've got to have finger in everything, and you are never ever, unless you are living in Hollywood and you can pay off a 10 million rand house, don't think that you have enough money.
Ooh, beautiful. And guys, who you guys just saw right now is the person behind the Goliaths. Behind every great man, there's a woman. You've heard that saying, and this is the woman behind the great man that you see. Thank you once again for.
E.g. I'm also the funniest.
I can tell. I can tell them we said that, but how we can tell?
But don't put an audience on a stage.
People clip that. Make sure they know about Kate is the funniest. Well, thank you again for coming on. It's been beautiful
for having us.
It's been the mandate. It's been beautiful. Easy,
man. I feel so young now.
Thank you so